All right, we've got a great show lined up for you today. We've got the Chief Border Patrol agent coming in, Robert Harris. Anybody that wears a badge, I don't mess with them. Robert Harris on the program this morning, Chief Border Patrol agent here in South Texas. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Do you have a pistol on?
I sure do.
You wear a gun?
I do.
You have to wear a gun, I guess. Is that mandatory that a guy with 3 stars on his has to wear a gun?
It's part of the uniform, Jay. Part of the uniform.
You ever had to use it?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Okay, we would like to know, to start off this interview, by the way, welcome to the program. Really nice to have you here. We'd like to know where you're from. Tell us a little bit about you so my audience will have a good idea what's going on with you.
Well, I'm a native-born Texan. I was born in Sonora and grew up in West Texas, and I joined the Border Patrol in 1984. Just completed this past October 28 years of service, and I've served in a number of locations along the southwest border in Washington, D.C., and I transferred here to Laredo about 3.5 years ago from Spokane, Washington. So I've done time on the U.S.-Mexico border as well as the U.S.-Canada border, and it was good to come back home to the great state of Texas after being out of the state for 15 years.
You were born where?
Sonora.
Where the hell is that?
To south of San Angelo.
San Angelo, up in North Texas.
West Texas.
West Texas. Okay. And you went to college where? Did you go to college? I mean, you would have to have 3 stars there, wouldn't you?
Went through the military college program. I'm a graduate of the National War College, class of 2000.
What branch?
It was an integrated academy. I wasn't actually in. I went as the Department of Justice representative. There was one person.
Do you
selected.
like a spy or something, or what?
I can be. That's why I'm over here in your office, Jay.
They send him to spy on you, Jay.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, so you went to Washington for a while.
I was in Washington, D.C. during the 9/11 attacks.
You were?
Oh, wow.
Wow. So you got to see the Pentagon. Must have been a horrible sight.
Yes, it was.
Did you, when you joined the Border Patrol, did you actually go up through the ranks, or were you enlisted as an officer, or how did that work?
No, I started out as a trainee. I think that's something that's unique about the U.S. Border Patrol is everybody starts out as a trainee, and nobody moves up in rank unless they've been through the Border Patrol Academy, and up to and including the Chief of the United States Border Patrol is a Border Patrol agent who started out as a Border Patrol trainee and worked his way up through the ranks.
Well, see there, Sergio, you learn something new every day.
Yes, you
Everybody
do,
has to go through boot camp, no matter what your rank is. Well, you're like the big kahuna of the South Texas, right? Is this Texas, or you got Arizona, or what is your area?
No, actually, this past December a year ago, the commissioner appointed me to have strategic oversight of South Texas. There's only 2 positions, like I have mine and then Arizona. Those are the 2 primary locations along the U.S.-Mexico border where we have the majority of our issues, and he wanted to have one person to have strategic oversight of all CBP assets within South Texas. So I have strategic oversight from Del Rio down to McAllen, Rio Grande Valley, and then up through Houston.
How many people are you in charge of?
About 9,500.
9,500? Okay, Sergio, we need to take a short break, and then we got all the introduction. Any other questions you might have?
No, very interesting.
Okay. So we know who you are now. We'll be right back with some real tough questions, okay? All right, we've got, we need to talk. We're not going to play any music after the commercial break this morning because we have a very busy person working for the Border Patrol while he is Commander Robert Harris, and welcome to the program. We already got all your MO as far as where you're from and what school you went to. What school did you go to? I don't remember now.
I graduated from Van Horn High School in West Texas. I have my bachelor's degree from National Louis University and a master's degree from the National War College.
Really? It's I don't know where any of that. I have no idea what you're talking about. But anyway, welcome to the program. You made it, and I'm so happy that you're here. I want to thank you as I did all the people that were so gracious in hosting Sergio and I last Thursday with the horseback riding and thing. You know, I tell people I like to get a visual of what's going on, whether it be if I'm looking to tour the prison or an orphanage home or a battered women's shelter. In your case, we got to ride the horsebacks and do the fan boat. Of course, it went to Sergio's head, and he had to take a picture of himself along with the couple of those agents on the fan boat that looked like special forces guys. Well, I was really impressed with those guys, by the way. And yeah, he had to take a picture and put it on his profile page. These liberals are so self-centered, you know. It's just unbelievable.
So egotistic.
These politicians.
Yeah.
So welcome to the program once again. I think the number one thing on people's mind right now, Mr. Harris, Robert, is sequestration.
Yes, that's on all of our minds, on our agents, on my mind, as well as a number of the members of the community. First of all, you know, I came back to Laredo. I transferred here in October of 2009. I've told this story publicly a number of times, but after I'd only been here about a few months, I had a tragedy in my life, and I considered retiring, and I actually left Laredo for a little while. There was the chief's job was vacant in Del Rio, and I was detailed over there because my family still lives in West Texas, and it allowed me to be closer to my family to kind of think through the situation. So I was over there for about 6 months, and ultimately that job was offered to me by the chief of the Border Patrol, and I thought about it a little bit, and I said, you know what, I want to come back to Laredo because I think this is a great community. They're very supportive of our people, and they always rally around us. And the sequestration is no different. You know, when word of this came out, I thought it was a bad decision, the way that it impacted the men and women of the Border Patrol and specifically our mission. It was a decision that I did not agree with. I was pretty vocal about it, about the impact on it. But I will say that the mayor of Laredo, the city of Laredo, the Chamber of Commerce, and Congressman Henry Cuellar all rallied to our support and sent letters to the president and speakers of the House and the Senate on our behalf. And we're not through this yet. You know, I don't know what the final outcome on the impact is going to be, but I am very optimistic that it's not going to be a 35 to 40% reduction in pay for our employees who are out there working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And again, I don't know what the final outcome is going to be, but I don't think it's going to be like that. I think common sense, or I'd like to think that common sense has prevailed.
Commander, a question. You say 30 to 40% reduction in pay, but that translates into 30 or 40% reduction in keeping our borders safe. Is that correct?
It's actually, according to my calculations or the assessment that we did, it would be more than that.
More than that.
If it would have gone into effect in terms of cutting out our operational flexibility, combined with the furlough days and transitioning from a 3-shift type of a format to more, the operational impact could have been more, and that's the main reason that I disagreed with the decision. I think we have made some great gains in border security, but work remains to be done, and I was very concerned, as well as our people were concerned, about the impact that was going to have on our ability to maintain a safe and secure border. You know, I know the crime statistics will show that Laredo is one of the safest cities per capita in the country for the size of the city. And
amazing.
And there's a lot of misinformation out there about spillover border violence, but it's not happenstance. It's because we have a very vigilant law enforcement community here in South Texas, and specifically here in Laredo. And I think I can say without reservation, we don't have any egos attached. We do what's best for the community, and all the law enforcement agencies, federal, state, and local, all get along here. We're not fighting over territory. We're doing what's best for our community, and I think that's why our community is very safe.
You all work together.
We do work together.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I would invite you over. I think here within the next month or so, we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting ceremony on an.
Oh no! I don't do ribbon cutting ceremonies.
I'll go, Commander. He doesn't have to go.
What are you going to be opening up now?
It's an integrated intelligence center where we're going. All the federal, state, and local law enforcement are going to be co-located, much like we're sitting here, Jay,
And what
across
are we
the
going to be
table from
looking
one
at? New
another.
monitors and technology and.
We will have some of that, but I think it's more the face-to-face daily interaction between our different agencies and the sharing of information. You know, you say you like to go out and visit and meet people and develop your own assessment. It's similar to that, and that we're going to be sitting right across the desk from one another. And you can put all the technology that you want into a facility or into a building, but nothing replaces face-to-face personal interaction.
I would like to go to that. I apologize for that remark, but every time I think of ribbon cutting, I think of the mayor, opening up another burger stand or, something.
It was a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, it was
when
just
you
a
heard
knee-jerk
when you heard the term ribbon cutting.
Then I immediately thought of Raul Salinas. I said, I'm not going.
Well, the mayor's been very supportive of us.
Well, that's good. Good. You better watch him, though.
I was talking to Jay.
Better watch out with that guy.
I was talking to Jay. We enjoyed the tour that you gave us, that you were so gracious in providing. It's very interesting what you do with the Mustang program that we rode. We rode on some beautiful horses up and down the river. And but they tell us that it's a new program. You had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, we actually, when I was the chief in Spokane, Washington, we were leasing horses, and, this was not cost-effective. It was not an operationally sound way to do things, so we started looking at purchasing our own horses, and we found out about this, the Bureau of Land Management's Wild Horse and Burro program, and this is a program where BLM rescues horses from national lands that are at risk of starvation, and they're kept in captivity and fed at taxpayer dollars. And we can adopt these horses at a very nominal fee. They're actually trained by prisoners from the Colorado Correctional Facility, so we don't have to put all those man hours into breaking those horses, and it's also a rehabilitation program for the prisoners. And then we get these horses, like I say, for about $800, and here in Laredo we're hauling those horses in seized trailers, and we oftentimes feed them hay and feed that was seized as part of a narcotic seizure. So it's a very operationally effective program. You saw out there riding on these horses, and it saves taxpayer dollars, for our country, which is always important, but it's especially important now during these times.
I want to talk about the pay cuts on sequestration. Normally, I guess an agent gets about, 10 hours of overtime every week?
Well, law enforcement work in general is not an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job. It does require working overtime on a routine basis, and our agents are compensated what's called administratively uncontrollable overtime. And I think overtime is a misnomer because there's always going to be time where we have to go over 8 hours. Back in the 70s, this pay system was developed actually as a cost savings measure for taxpayers in that it's not time and a half overtime.
It's not time and a half?
It is not time and a half.
So if they work 10 hours overtime, they just get their regular hourly pay, or break it down from hourly pay? Are they paid on salary or hourly? I think they're on salary, aren't they? It goes by GS level, right?
Yes, correct. It's based on GS level, and all of our agents, once they get up to the journeyman level, they're graded at a GS 12.
So that's a pretty big hit if you consider the hourly cut and the no more overtime.
Well, obviously, as I mentioned before the city council last week, it is definitely a significant impact on our agents and our families, on the local economy. But for me, the operational impact was very significant.
And the attitudes that go along with that. Some people on Eagle Pass are talking about leaving.
Well, there's a lot of opportunities here with the oil field, the oil and gas industry. So obviously that would, if these pay cuts were to go into effect, that would put us at an extreme disadvantage in competing not only with the private sector, but with other federal law enforcement.
Are you hearing that agents will leave?
I've heard a little bit of that, but I wouldn't say, again, we're optimistic that this situation...
The way I look at it is you're lucky to have a job. I'm serious. It's tough out there. In South Texas, we have all these oil field people coming in, crashing up everything, and causing the rents to go up, housing to go up. I don't benefit from that. Maybe the municipalities benefit from that through taxation and stuff like that, but I don't see my gas prices going down. I don't see any of that stuff. So I'm not benefiting as a normal, regular, walking, talking citizen. I'm not benefiting from the oil business being a boom down here. Not at all. Matter of fact, I'm paying more out of my pocket in property taxes. I'm paying more. I'm sure the property taxes are going to go up because of valuation. We love to raise property taxes here just for any reason. So the rents go up $200 a month on just one-bedroom apartments over the last 3 years. So who's benefiting? No, I'm not benefiting from that, and you're not benefiting from that. So, yeah.
Well, let me go. I want to go back to the original question.
Did I get off on a tangent?
You kind of went off on a rabbit trail there. I want to go back to the original question of, do we have a lot of people leaving? And I think for the most part, Jay, I mean, we've got a pretty large organization. We have about 1,850 Border Patrol agents here in Laredo proper. Most of them love their jobs. They're out there working hard and securing the border and protecting the community, and I think by and large, they are happy with their jobs. Like we've already talked about, they do need to be compensated for their work. It is dangerous work. As I mentioned to you during our first contact a few weeks ago, we had a Border Patrol agent shot, on a vehicle stop south of here out in a remote location at 1:30 in the morning. That's the kind of stuff that our people do all the time.
Yeah. So how's he doing?
He's recovering well. Good. He's recovering well.
Okay.
So that was fortunate that the 3 agents involved in that situation were paying attention. I think a mistake that's used a lot of times in talking about law enforcement is they were out on routine patrol or routine traffic stop. There's nothing routine about law enforcement work, and I think obviously the work of a Border Patrol agent is very dangerous because oftentimes they're out working alone in dark and remote locations, and 99.9% of the time they don't know what type of a situation they're going to encounter, and it's a very dangerous work, as was evidenced by this situation.
Well, and a lot of people, you're right, don't realize that, but you get down there on the riverbank, this is your front line, and you go through all that cane and all the brush and everything like that in the middle of the night. It would be very scary. It would be very scary work.
Yes, going out like you and Sergio did, during the early morning hours, that's one thing. But like you say, you get down there in that cane in the dark by yourself in the wee hours of the morning, and it's very dangerous work.
So where are we now as far as what would you like to tell the people out there that are listening to the program this morning? And I'm just going to let you take the mic, and I'm just going to shut up.
Well, I'm proud to be a Border Patrol agent, and I think I can speak for our employees that we love the work here. We love this community. Laredo is a great community, and it's very supportive of law enforcement in general, and specifically in the Border Patrol. And our people reciprocate in a number of different ways. We've talked about the potential impact of sequestration, but one of the reasons that I'm here is because Laredo is a very giving community. Anybody who's in need, you're going to see some sort of a plate sale, or they're going to rally around that individual. The Border Patrol is no different. It's not only the work that is more visible when you see our agents out patrolling or working the checkpoints or working out there at night. When they're off duty, they do contribute a lot back to the community. We have a lot of our agents who volunteer their time doing any number of activities, coaching baseball, combined federal campaign. Laredo has been recognized for 3 years in a row for giving back to the community through the combined federal campaign. Year before last, Border Patrol agents alone donated $550,000 of their salary to the combined federal campaign just here in Laredo alone, and about $250,000 of that stayed with nonprofit organizations here that are sponsored through the United Way. So that's just a few examples of what our agents do in contributing, giving back to this community that supports them.
Will you come on to the program from time to time and keep us updated?
Jay, from the first time that we encountered, you had a caller who provided some misinformation about our agents potentially waiving traffic through the I-35 checkpoint.
I gave out misinformation?
Somebody called you with some misinformation.
Oh, I see.
Somebody gave Jay some
And
misinformation.
They gave him some misinformation that our agents were waiving traffic in protest
weren't you?
to sequestration, and I called you right away on the phone.
It was the fog. That's right. I remember
It was
now.
the fog. I called you first thing, and I also messaged you on Facebook. But what I want to do by coming onto this program is I think, you and I might have some differences of opinion on a few things, but I do believe in being open and transparent, and I want to have first shot anytime, you have a question about the Border Patrol. You have my direct line. I want you to call me and give me an opportunity to have input, and I'm happy to come on this program anytime you ask me.
Hey, the bottom line with me is you're not a politician, number one. Number two, I'm always respectful of a badge, and I think anybody in Laredo, the police department, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. I don't give anybody any grief when it comes to law enforcement because I think it's a dangerous job. I think there's a lot of nutcases out there, a lot that you have to deal with, and I respect that. So I would just like for you to come on the show every now and then. And if you'd like to hang around a little bit longer, I don't mind that either.
I have a couple of questions, but we do need to take a commercial break.
Let me do that. We'll be right back. 99.3, straight up 8 o'clock, St. John here along with Sergio. We have a lot of guests on the program this morning. Robert Harris, the Chief Border Patrol Agent here in South Texas, is with us. He doesn't want to leave, so I said he could hang around. That's fine. I don't mean it like that. I know you love the show, and when I say you don't want to leave, you still have other things you'd like to talk about. Am I correct? Commander, let's get back to the Border Patrol. Let's talk about the Border Patrol. What else can we do as a community to come together and let you guys know that we appreciate what you do? And is there any programs that are currently... You were talking about the Laredo Chamber of Commerce. You were talking about the City of Laredo pulling together their support. But what kind of support are they giving you? Just a pat on the back and a kiss on the cheek, or what?
No, sir. The city, the Chamber of Commerce, and Congressman Cuellar all drafted letters to the president and the speakers of the House and the Senate, expressing their concern about the way the sequestration was going to impact the men and women of CBP and specifically the Border Patrol. And as I mentioned to you last Thursday when you and Sergio went on the border tour, I had an opportunity to visit firsthand with Secretary Napolitano when she was in the Rio Grande Valley and express my concerns. And again, I remain optimistic that there's going to be a resolution to the sequestration that is not going to end up being such a severe impact on our employees and more importantly on our efforts to secure the border.
Interesting, because I've been surfing the web looking for stories about the sequestration, and it doesn't seem to be in the forefront right now. Is your boss saying that Congress is going... The only way this can be resolved if Congress gets together and resolves it. So is that in the works right now, or is that a criteria? I can't find anything on it.
Well, it's a political issue for the politicians to decide, but I'm supportive of a balanced budget. I don't believe in having my tax dollars wasted like any tax-paying American. But there's got to be a common sense approach to this. They need to execute these budget cuts in a way, in my opinion, that national security and public safety is not compromised. The farther we get away from the attacks of 9/11. The more people forget about, the catastrophic consequences of not having a safe and secure nation. And, we were in here thanking our veterans, our military folks. We still have veterans dying overseas on behalf of protecting America. And you said freedom is not free, and the men and women of the Border Patrol play an important role in that, and in preserving our way of life here in America and making sure that that we don't have any attacks like that again here in the United States. We can never forget, how many people, thousands of people died in that situation. And, we need to make sure that our borders are safe and secure.
Well, we got a group of 8 people that are more worried, I think, about amnesty and how they're going to get all that stuff passed, than they are border security. And what the conservatives are saying is we need to secure the border before we start talking about all this amnesty new legislation coming down the pike. But it looks like it's flipped around to me.
Well, again, comprehensive immigration reform is, that's one of the president's top agenda items.
Why does he want to secure the border? He doesn't seem like he wants to do that.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
I wanted to ask you, Commander.
No. Don't fly into my
Isn't
question.
it true that under the Obama administration, we have more deportations than any other administrations before that?
Look, man.
Let me ask him a question. Is that true?
Go ahead.
Well, I want to actually go back to an initial, during my introductory remarks, Jay asked me, when I joined the Border Patrol, and if I came up through the ranks. Well, I was a young Border Patrol agent in 1986 in Southern California when the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986 was passed. And we were talking about a secure border then. And, we didn't have a secure border then. We were making about 1.6 million arrests a year during that time. And, here we are 25 years later, and the $1 million question is, do we have a secure border? What we don't want to do is get ourselves in a similar situation, I think, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, where we're dealing with the situation again.
What Sergio doesn't understand is the Bush administration mandated that we hire by law X amount of Border Patrol agents by law. Okay, so during 2006 to all the way to 2000, 10 or 11, you hired basically twice as many agents as you had in 2005. Okay, are you with me on this?
Yes. I think really
so the reason why they have more deportations, as you say, is because they have more agents on the ground to be able to do that. So don't be giving Obama any credit for that at all. Obama wants nothing more than for people to come here and just vote Democrat.
That's it.
It's a big voting base for Democrats. That's what it is. And you know it, Sergio, and I know it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in the bubble that you live in, without the reality of what's really going on, it's just all ideology and let's feel good. And you're going to find out with this country, as soon as all these things kick in like Obamacare and all this other kind of stuff, you guys are going to find out who you voted for. Now, I got off on a tangent there, Commander Harris, and I apologize for that. But I'm a realist. I really am worried about this country. Not only the border, but I'm worried about everything else. The economics of what's going on here. I mean, our dollar is going to hell in a handbasket. We're going to be paying $5 a gallon for gas. I don't know if you can afford that, but I can't. And inflation is going to be hitting in, and interest rates are going to be going up, and that's going to happen real soon. Mark my word. What do you think about that? The economy. What's it going to do to your efforts down here in South Texas? Do you think this is the end? I personally think sequestration is an appetizer. The government's giving us an appetizer of things to come. That's what I think. And I think they're going to get a lot rougher. What do you think?
Well, time will tell. We need our politicians and our elected officials in Washington, D.C. paying attention to the impact on the little guy out here in the field.
Well, exactly. Well, you know what, Chief Harris? Nothing's going to happen to you. That sequestration is a joke. You're not going to lose any funding, and everybody's talking about it, I know. But the people don't want it. The people of the United States wants our borders secure. And there'll be a political backlash if you guys don't get what you've been used to getting. They're not going to cut you. This is my prediction. You can say thank you very much, Jay.
Well, Jay, we all want a good outcome to this sequestration.
You know it as well as I do. I can see it in your face.
Yeah, I'm very supportive of our mission and of our people. Like I said initially, I think the way this first was advertised to us, it was an untenable situation for our employees on an economic and financial basis. One thing I don't want is, for our agents to go to work and have to be focused on whether or not they're going to be paid or not. I want them to focus on their mission and coming home safe at the end of their shift, not whether or not their pay is going to be cut 40%.
Commander, I want the listeners to know how many people in Laredo are employed by the Border Patrol.
We have about 2,200 employees here. About 1,850 of those are Border Patrol agents, and then we have the remainder of the employees are our support and professional staff, which are critical to our operations.
So you like those kind of questions, don't you? How many people you got working here, Commander?
Well, Jay,
Jay,
when we talk about local issues, and you say that we should just talk about local issues, a lot of people don't understand that over 2,000 Laredoans are employed by the federal government.
I thought everybody knew that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of our agents are from this area, but we have a lot of our agents who transferred or who moved here. They relocated from other parts of the United States and away from their families to be a Border Patrol agent here in Laredo.
You got one right here. He could be a Border Patrol agent. What's the timeline on that? 39 or something like that? He can ride a horse.
I proved
Sergio
it.
can ride a horse. That'd be the first job he's ever had in his entire life.
I proved that I could ride a horse.
Yeah, he can ride a horse. So would you? What is the timeline on applying for a Border Patrol? 39 or something?
37.
37. So you're still there, Sergio.
I'm still there.
I don't know if you pass a background check.
I don't think so.
So are you hiring right now? I was listening to my K-Buck Big Country. What is it? Big Country. You like country music, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So
Big Buck Country.
Yeah, Big Buck Country. I like country music myself. So I listen to that station, and they were advertising for Border Patrol agents on that station during sequestration, and I'm thinking to myself, you're advertising for. I guess you do it all the time, though, right?
Well, I think that also sends mixed messages. There was a full-page article in the Laredo paper on the back page a little while back advertising for hiring a Border Patrol agent. This came out on the same day as the furlough notices were issued to our employees. That obviously sent a bad message. But Congress, as part of this continuing resolution, has put a floor on the number of Border Patrol agents nationwide. It's 21,500 agents, I think. So there is a continuing need to maintain a staff of Border Patrol agents at that level. So we're in continual recruitment mode. So, although the timing was poor, we are still in a national recruitment mode.
Sure. I mean, you got to keep that level up, too. But because that's by law.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Well, is there anything that you would like to say to the people out there while we're still have a little bit of time left? And I'm just going to kind of let you go with it. Because you obviously don't like my questions.
No, you ask good questions. I wish when I went into work in the morning that I had as much fun as you and Sergio do here in the studio, because you guys are having way too much fun here, I think. But I do appreciate what you do. I may not agree with all of your messages, but that's not what it's about. It's about open and transparent, and on that front, we are like-minded. I want to be open and transparent when I came on the show, and you have my commitment that you have a direct line to me anytime you have a question about the Border Patrol, and I've already given you my commitment that I'll come back on this show anytime you request me to do so.
We don't want to get you in any kind of trouble. We're talking about politics and stuff like that. I know you have to kind of stay away from that, right?
I'm in a pretty unique position, Jay. Laredo is my final duty post. I love the job that I have here. I have no intentions of going anywhere else or running for any kind of political office. So what do you mean your final duty post? I mean, you could be here for, a year, 10 years, or what are you talking about? Well, I'm retirement eligible.
You are?
Retirement
you don't
eligible.
Look that old.
So,
you're in your 40s, right?
I'm 52.
52. No kidding.
Yeah.
You look good for 52.
I feel good.
What, do you dye your hair or what?
I feel good.
You feel good? How would you like a radio career after you get done?
Well, if it's as much fun as I've had this morning, I think that might be in the works there.
I think you'd be pretty good at it.
How does it pay?
Not good.
Well, it depends on, look, only 3% of people in talk radio make money, but I think you and I together probably could be in that 3%.
Are you ditching me already?
Oh, we know what you want to do. You want to be a career politician. Besides that, you cough all the time in the microphone.
Oh, that's true. That's not a winner.
Well, before we run out of time, I want to go back to what you asked me. My message. I want first and foremost. I don't have an opportunity. I don't know how many agents I have listening out there right now, or Border Patrol employees, but I want to thank them for what they do, and I mean that in all sincerity. I don't get a chance to say it enough, but. I already talked about the dangers of the job, but here in South Texas, we have some very rough, rugged, and remote conditions, and the weather here is very harsh. And, when a lot of folks are sitting in their air-conditioned buildings or are asleep at night, we've got people out there working the line and protecting the border in very dangerous conditions. And I never take it for granted what they do and the sacrifices that they make on behalf of our community and our nation, and the amount of agents that we've had relocate their families here to South Texas to become dedicated public servants. And I very much appreciate what they do, and I'm working hard to support y'all, and as long as I have this job, by the grace of God, I'll continue to do that. And second of all, we have these folks in here, or you did, Jay, from the Veterans Coalition supporting our veterans, and I said that's emblematic of the kind of people that we have here in Laredo who support our community and our law enforcement, and we're very blessed to have this community of Laredo, and I can tell you, having worked in different parts of the country, that it is a very unique community here, and I want to thank the citizens of Laredo and our elected officials for all that they do to support our men and women in uniform. And like I say, you get what you give is what I believe in, and our agents and employees reciprocate by giving back to the community.
Well, listen, and I'm not just blowing your horn or anything like that, but it seems to me, and I don't know that much about it, but it seems to me you guys are doing a pretty good job. I go through the checkpoints, and I think it's hard standing on your feet all day. I think it's hard wearing a uniform that's very, very hot at 110-degree temperatures. I think you ought to, lighten up on the colors. I mean, seriously. It's like the Laredo Police Department. What a bunch of idiots. They driving black cars. Whose idea was that? Oh, the old chief of police. He wanted those black and whites.
Well, we're funny you should mention that, Jay, but I started out in San Clemente, California, which is a checkpoint station located in between San Diego and Los Angeles on Interstate 5, and I can tell you that, working a checkpoint is not one of the most favored duties of a Border Patrol. They would much rather be on horseback out patrolling the border than checking traffic, but it is a necessary and critical part of our enforcement posture on the border, and I know it is sometimes a slight inconvenience for citizens to go through those checkpoints, but we appreciate your patience and your support, and giving a quick response to the agents so they can send you along your way, and and it is hard work out there, especially during the summer months, which are approaching. So, thank the agents for what they do at the checkpoints, for serving duty at a checkpoint station, and also for the patience and the support of the community who traverse those checkpoints.
Thank you, Commander Harris.
Thank you very much, Commander, for being with us this morning.
All right. Thank you both for what you do, and I appreciate you having me on the program here, and God bless you both, and for what you do to support the community.
All right. It is 8:53. We got to take a break, and we'll be right back.